My name's Adam Manaka and I'm the Financial Controller for Hi-Tec Oils. With our national capacity, we can now service Australian companies nationwide. Of late, we have now expanded into the New Zealand market. Here at Hi-Tec Oils, we receive premium base oils and premium additive packs. Together, with our highly trained staff, we manufacture over 500 premium quality products. Hi-Tec Oils is Australian made and Australian owned.
On today's show, we head to the Sydney Motorsport Park Figure 8 circuit for the final round of the Hi-Tec Drift Allstars Series for 2017, as three of the sport's best go head-to-head in their pursuit to be the Drift Allstars champion. Then we head over to the UK and to the Crofts circuit in Yorkshire for rounds 13 to 15 of the Dunlop MSA British Touring Car Championship. This is Speedweek.
Well, it all comes down to this, the final round of the Hi-Tec Oils Drift All-Stars with the famous Insurance Pro-Am Series run and done tonight. The podiums are shaping up and we've got some tight divisions in the points ladder. But Scott, what a 2017 we've had.
Oh mate, it's been chaotic, crazy, plenty of good battles, plenty of young upcomers stepping up, which is really good to see. Hopefully we finish this season off on a high, all the drivers get up there, mate. We might see some new faces tonight in the podium, which would be good to see for this season.
Couple of blow-ups, some big repairs throughout the season, but everyone is here and hungry for some points tonight with a really tight division at the top of our championship ladder with Brad Toohey out in front, Rob Arbolino right behind him, and chasing their heels, Bo the Show Yates. And we're sure to see some tight battles, not only between those guys, but the rest of the ladder who have been coming up and fighting so hard throughout 2017. We caught up with a few of the key drivers down in the pits before.
I'm here with Brad Toohey, mate, leading the championship again, coming to the final round. Same as last year. Hopefully you don't have any dramas tonight and you have a smooth sail right to the end, mate.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, last year didn't go to plan, like leading the championship for the whole year and getting 3 laps of practice and then having a mechanical issue make us sit on the sideline. So, to be honest, tonight, like leading again, I just want to have a chance to battle.
That's it, that's what it comes down to. Get out there and have some fun, let the driving talk. Obviously, Achilles sponsoring all season. Car's been doing really well this season. A few little dramas. Are you feeling pretty confident coming tonight or what?
Yeah, like as confident as you can be. Obviously got all the best brands on board, like Hi-Tec Oils, Achilles Radial, obviously. So everything's in place to do the job. I just need to finish it off.
I'm here with currently second in the championship and a man who's definitely got his eyes on the top step tonight, Rob Arbolino, mate. How you been going?
Yeah, well, not a good start to the night. We just broke a drive shaft in the first practice lap and we ended up having to change a hub and whatnot. So I just went out there then for a quick crack and it felt good and we're on the wall. So, yeah, I'm pretty confident at the moment.
There's a bit more to that story as well, because I hear there's a freshly built motor under the bonnet from Dabs. Bit of Matuk's magic on the tune. It sounds strong out there.
Yeah, well, after last round, when the thing gave up in the final battle, we thought who else to go to build a V8, and that's the Wild Performance. So, yeah, it's making a whole lot more power than it was at the last round. So I don't know if it's going to help me or disadvantage me, but all I know is I'm looking at 2 guys today, and they're over there.
Here we Bo Yates, the reigning champion, mate. 3rd position coming into the final round. Not far behind the first top boys. How you feeling tonight?
Yeah, listen, Scott, it's been a difficult year for us. We had a few mechanical failures this year, which has done us no favours. But listen, it's anyone's game tonight, you know. Like, I think if I qualify well and finish first, I think I can win the championship. But I know there's some pretty hungry competitors out there, and Rob and Brad and Jabs, I think, can get it too from 4th. So listen, I'm just here to have a good time, and we'll back it up, and we'll be here again next year with Hi-Tec and pushing hard. So look, maybe it's not my turn this year, but, you know, who knows, we'll be here for the next couple, so we'll just keep pushing hard as we do, and we'll see where we end up.
Straight into qualifying now, and plenty of excitement throughout the field. But this is the real upset here. Anthony Billick putting in a great run, but on his first time around, but then second time around getting a little bit more aggressive, tagging the wall, and boom, straight up the end of those barriers there, ending his night and straight on the trailer. See here, he came out wide, tapped the rear of the car, and maybe with a little bit of steering could have come off it, but the way those barriers curve around on the end of the corner, it just makes it a really hard zone to get out of. Once you're in the wall, you're in.
Not the way Billy would want to start his night, but next up the man, Aaron Duar, on an absolute mission, hooking those tyres off the rims, that Duar's performance engine singing and doing exactly what he wanted to do on the night.
Second in the championship and now second in qualifying as well. Rob Arbolino laying down killer qualifying runs with a slight bobble at the start of the entry there on this run. The only reason he didn't take out the top spot. Filling up those outside zones, not afraid to get nice and close and even rub the walls at some point. And such an aggressive entry here, riding the entirety of the wall, smashing that pool noodle. I don't think I've seen anybody else hit the walls as hard as that.
The man that takes the top again, Bo Yates. He's done it plenty of times this season and finishes the year off on a high, doing exactly what the judges wanted to see, getting that top spot. Let's see if they continue on through to the battles.
And here's our order. Bo Yates out in front by the slightest margin in front of Rob Arbolino. Aaron Duar in third. Brad Tui, our points leader, down a little bit in qualifying, so we'll really want to fix that up in the battles. And Anthony Billick securing fifth place, but unfortunately under the trailer after that big crash. We're here with Ellie from Playdead Car Care Products, a brand new sponsor this year for the Hi-Tec Oils Drift Allstars Series. So Playdead's got a pretty cool name for itself, but tell me, what is it you guys actually do?
So we create car care brands for pretty much people that are obsessed with their cars. We have some awesome packaging, awesome formula to keep your car looking fresh.
Beautiful, and I believe you've come on board with the drift school as well with your beautiful new 8.6 behind you. I mean, are you excited to get behind the wheel yourself?
Yeah, we're definitely excited. I mean, the car looks awesome. It pretty much reflects our brand. It's fresh, it stands out with the colours, and yeah, it's going to be an awesome year.
Is this your first time at a drift event?
Definitely the first time, so everything's new to me at the moment, so I'm kind of excited.
It's great to have Playdead on board as a sponsor for the Hi-Tec Drift All-Stars, keeping these cars looking immensely clean. Talking about good looks though, I think I see a little bit of green in that mirror in Isaac Gett's car. That reminds me of a certain chef I know.
Yeah, Isaac wanted to borrow my race suit, so he handed it off to him. I think he actually looks better than I ever did, so well, good on him, and hopefully it brings him some good luck tonight.
Going to be a hard battle for you to watch, Scott. Isaac Gett in your race suit up against your boy Scotty Chambers, all the way up here from Tasmania with that supercharged 1UZ K70 Corolla, with Isaac Gett leading in the R33 Skyline.
As they come around the first corner, Chambers has still been battling a few dramas with his car. We thought they got it sorted during the week, but unfortunately it looks like the alternator's dying, and it's showing right there, as you can see him straighten up. Isaac doing everything you want to do in that lead run, getting nice and wide on that wall.
Real close there through the bottom, and you're right, really hard issue there for Scotty to pick, because on the dyno everything seems fine, but when he's out there, seems particularly in transitions or the big switches that it just cuts all power, which is a shame, because when he is on the power, look how much he dives on the back of Isaac Gett there. He's really got the speed advantage.
Yeah, when it's on, and unfortunately it's not working tonight for Scotty, so hopefully he gets that lead run in against Isaac, and lets Isaac put on his door and puts on a show for the crowd.
It's going to be a difficult one though, with that Corolla cutting out power. That's a really dangerous position to be in as the lead car, because if you do have the car straighten up, you've got a car coming in hot behind you, like we see there. Nice. Isaac Gett, the definition of coming in hot. Lots of power, lots of lock, trying to better Scotty's line. And
no, there you go.
There's that straighten up I was talking about to watch out for there. Doesn't seem to phase Isaac though. He's coming around close to the barrier. And then Scotty's gone like a little rocket.
Oh, Scotty put his foot down. Oh, he's against the wall. Oh, no, Isaac follows him in.
Wow.
No.
Trying to follow the line there of Scott Chambers, who after, a bit of a lackluster run due to mechanical issues, just put it all to the wall, go as aggressive as he could, but then Isaac chasing him in. Once the rear's in, the front's in, boom, nearly all four wheels off the car. And I don't know how many times we have to say it, but how dangerous is the ramp on the bottom of that barrier?
Isaac gets the win, but unfortunately has a few things to fix up on his car before he can get back out there. Obviously, my race suit did not bring him the best of luck.
Fingers crossed for him, hopefully just a tie rod, but could be a little bit more serious than that. Benny Meir now chasing Finney O'Hare in that Fluoro S15. Halo Effects putting a very unique finish on that car, and doesn't it just roast?
Oh, Finney is on the power, but take nothing away from Benny Meir. Finney makes a mistake. Benny has a nice, clean, consistent run here in the lead. Finney just on and off the power there, but when it's on, that thing is absolutely chalking tyres.
That's the thing though, chalking tyres isn't necessarily quick, and while Ben Meir's car might not be putting out a whole lot of smoke, it's putting down a whole lot of traction and pulling away from Finney O'Hare there.
Yeah, you can see that's the mistake that Finney made there, unfortunately. Jumped the corner a little bit, had to get back on the pedal, re-clutch, and that's where Benny Meir started to pull away from him.
How's the Lag Monster limiter bash? Just a spool and then love it.
That's the aggression. That's what we like to see. Let's spin him around. Finney O'Hare in the lead, Benny Meir in the chase.
Big entry, typical of Finney. He's coming in lots of angle, but Ben Meir happy to follow him, getting right up in there and on the driver's door of Finney O'Hare. In the switch, nice and neat, but a bit of a speed stall from Finney, forcing Ben to straighten a little bit, although he did manage to maintain some sort of angle. I don't think the judges will mark down for that one.
Yeah, unfortunately, Finney put on a crazy show for the crowd, but unfortunately his nine's not where the judges want to see it. He'll get marked down for that one.
And that's a hard one, you know. When you look at drifting technically, the drive that might not be as exciting, not to say that is the case with Benny Meir, who put on a great chase run there, but, you know, looking at that from the outside and not looking at the judge line, you think, yeah, Finney roasted it. He's all over it, heaps of lock, but when you look at the clipping points and how close they want to get into the wall, technically, that was an easy decision for Benny Meir to go through.
Here we go, Brad Toohey, James Abbott. James has been fighting dramas all practice. I don't think the car's going to work. Has been misfiring. We'll see what he can do.
No, that is the one thing I love about James Abbott's driving style. Regardless of the misfire or anything happening under the bonnet, you can trust him to clock that tacho the entire way around on the dash. He does not care. It seems like that misfire was not enough to even get a single run through, though. He's cut through the middle of the track, and Brad Toohey's out there on his own. Bit of confusion trying to see where James Abbott went, but he's still halfway through a run, going through, finishing, and getting the advantage there. Let's ride on board with Jabbett now. Yeah, as you can see, just old mate Keithy not coming on boost there. Jabbett not being able to do anything, and he's going to put it on the trailer. Jabbett now joining Billick as a spectator in the pits, and look at the damage on this poor S13. You know, Billick spinning spanners at all hours of the day, really, you know, one of our front-runner privateers, just putting so much effort and love into this car to get it running, and you know, has been developing it for quite some time, but it looks like possibly the strut tower's moved in there. I mean, that car copped a really big hit, and for the bonnet to fly up, you know that whatever it's latched to has had a serious movement. Let's get back to the battles. Warwick Hill against Mitch Bitcoin Sanders. That Foreman's BMW has been killing it all season. Consistent runs, doing pro and pro-am there for Warwick. Mitch has missed a few rounds. Good to see him back for the final round. Big things to come from him next season. JZ versus JZ as Mitch Sanders' car chasing down, trying to get a handle on Warwick Hill. And, you know, he's out there, he's got the angle. Mitch is driving really well in the chase there. The separation is just too far apart. Jump on board with Mitch here. He's pretty comfortable in the car there, nice and cozy. Unfortunately, Warwick just, you know, pulls a little bit of gap on it and keeps that gap consistent throughout the whole run, so you know, the judges will be scoring that accordingly. There's the advantage. Warwick Hill getting that advantage in the lead run. They're now going to switch it around and chase Mitch Sanders, and we'll see whether that difference in pace will allow him to get nice and close. And like you were saying, Warwick Hill probably getting some of the most seat time out of anyone in this series, not only doing Pro-Am and Pro. He's had a trip over to Japan, I think driving over in New Zealand as well, but yeah, that certainly didn't go to plan for him. Throws it on Mitch's door. Mitch a little bit off the wall, not what the judges want to see. They come through the bottom corner. Can both the drivers get out nice and tight on that wall. A little bit off from Mitch. Warwick doing well on Mitch's door. Impressive for Warwick to be able to hold that line through the bottom there, but without the width of it. Because, you know, that bottom straight, you really need to go right to the outside to be able to hold it in one direction. But luckily that Performance E46 BMW with the JZ under the bonnet just has the roast there to be able to power skid through that central part of the track and keep it out and on angle up onto the front straight. So easily keeping pace with Mitch Sanders there in the chase. Not quite getting as close as we probably know he could, but at the same time he knows he has an advantage from the first run, and now in the second run that puts him through to the top 8.
There you go, Wazza with the win. We'll be seeing Mitch again back next season for a big year.
So there's our top 8 ladder. Bo Yates up against Isaac Gett, who did find a wall, so there might be a bye there. Mitch Cole up against Brad Toohey. Warwick Hill against Aaron Duar. And Rob Arbolina up against Benny Meir. Twin turbo V8 up against the naturally aspirated fella. That's going to be an interesting battle. After the break, the Famous Insurance Pro-Am Top 8 kicks off before we get through the end of the battle tree and crown our Hi-Tec Drift All-Stars Pro Champion for 2017. Straight into it with the Famous Insurance Pro-Am Top 8 tonight, where we will crown our very first Pro-Am champion. It's so good to have this level of competition in the series and develop some new talent, Scott.
That's right, Dave. It's looking good. All the boys have really stepped up, and there's one of them right there on screen now, Warwick Hill, talking to Bo Yates. He's been doing Pro and Pro-Am this season. Really consistent driving, and has shown that obviously a lot of seat time is what you need if you want to progress in drifting.
And coming in the second in the points ladder is Warwick Hill, topped by Glenn Ormerod, who's just been on fire all season. Tim Schultz with that engine rebuild for tonight. It's going to be a hot one. I'm here with Glenn Ormerod, one of the names that has quickly become dominant in the Pro-Am series this year. I mean, mate, you've had a great series.
Yeah, it's been excellent this year. It's been awesome results all year. The competition's been great. Just, yeah, all fun. It's good, really good.
The driving's been smooth, calm and calculated, and going into the final round, I'm sure you've got a couple of pointers in your mind. What are you trying to do?
Just going to try and go out and win and do my best tonight and see how we go.
What do you find is different about your driving style being NA compared to some of these big powered cars?
Just be aggressive, sort of do what the car wants to do and have fun pretty much. That's all I do, yeah.
Series Warwick Hill, mate, consistency is the key. You've been doing it all year. 1 point behind the Famous Insurance Pro-Am Series. Obviously, car, unfortunately, a few dramas in practice, but boys will get it sorted and you get back out there hopefully, yeah?
Yeah, definitely. Look, the boys have jumped straight in there. We had a hose pop off the back of the engine. When it first happened, the thing just exploded in my face. I thought it would pretty much pop the engine, but luckily it's only a minor thing. But yeah, look, it's been a big year. We've run both classes. Glenn has just been unstoppable all year, so he's 1 point ahead, but we're going to give it everything tonight and try and get out there and pick him at the post.
I'm here with Tim Schultz, a driver who's come hot into the series this year in both Pro and Pro-Am. I hear tonight you're focusing just on the Pro-Am. We're going to see you on the podium or what?
Yeah, mate. They're sitting third at the moment. Hopefully hold on to that position or better it yet. So we'll see what happens.
Man, the level of driving was up there last round, but unfortunately the motor let go on you, had a few mechanical dramas. What ended up happening and what have you done to rectify it?
Yeah, mate, unfortunately we're doing pretty well, and then coming into one of our battles against Rob Arbolino in the Pro Series, unfortunately the motor decided to give up. So it spun a bearing and threw the rod in about 5 places and destroyed the block. So we got home, pulled it apart, built another motor, and we're back.
Look at those barriers. I mean, they've only been up for 2 events now and they're copping an absolute caning. I mean, you've all heard of in drifting, run the wall, but it's all been about hit the wall with the weird shape of these barriers, not quite following the track edge. But some drivers are finding it and absolutely shining with that extra level of technicality out there.
As we have Matty Walters leading Isaac Get Out for your first battle of the Famous Insurance Pro-Am Top 8.
We'll see Tim Schultz face off against Flash Smith, but I think there's been some mechanical issues there. We just saw Matt Walters and Isaac Getz shaping up. Glenn Ormerod up against Mike Scotto, and then Warwick Hill will be facing off against our only female drifter in the series, who we caught up with earlier on. I'm here with our only female drifter at the final round. Erin, how are you feeling going into it?
A little nervous as always.
Heard the car's been playing up a little bit on you so far. Had a few temperature issues, but it seems to be all right now?
So far so good. It was really hot yesterday, so today's doing a bit better.
So you've had a couple of laps on the peanut in between rounds. Feeling a bit more comfortable with it?
Well, last night was my first night with the new wall, so I was a bit nervous. It put me off a bit more than what I thought, but I'll get over it.
Yeah, they're a bit scary out there, the barriers. It's just changed the whole dynamic of the track.
It does. Changes your whole race line, where I would enter. It just put me off massively yesterday.
Well, you got the right attitude going in there, thinking about line and where you want to be. Have you got any pointers in the back of your mind tonight that you're trying to work on?
Just keep my foot down, really. Just trying to keep the revs up a bit more than what I have been. So that's pretty much my goal.
Aggression is the key out there on this track, but you know, just those walls there, they really do become daunting. And after seeing a couple of cars go in tonight, I'm not surprised if some drivers dial it back a bit. Matt Walters, though, not known for dialing it back a bit. He's been going hard all season, really getting comfortable with that LS-powered R33 and tipped it in.
Walters throws it in hard, but unfortunately he's a little bit off the line. Not where the judges want to see as they continue through the rest of the track. Isaac trying to catch up, a little bit of a gap that Walters put on that first corner.
Yeah, see, cutting narrow in that line there and not getting out to the wall, it does give you a bit of a speed advantage because it makes the track that little bit shorter. So Isaac, you know, struggling a little bit with speed there as he's gone back, but he did go wider. He did fill up the zone the judges were looking for, and you know, a bit of a difficult gap to try and catch up, especially when they're in the same chassis with, you know, possibly similar power, but Matt Walters' car is so much more responsive as an individual throttle-bodied LS, and that's given him the advantage there as he's managed to pull a gap.
We'll spin them both around and we'll see if Isaac can throw it down against Walters. Isaac to lead, Walters to chase.
That Drift Angry sticker just absolutely personifies the way that Matt Walters has been driving. He's been chucking it in, giving it a go, and you know, I think he's really going to be a name to watch next season, and even possibly this season with the advantage going into his chase run, but a big straighten up there. That's going to hurt him.
Looks like mechanical drama's there for Walters, not the way you want to finish off your season. Isaac finishes off his run, nice and aggressive, been doing it all night against that wall. Exactly what the judges want to see. As you can see, they come around through the S's. Walters tries to throw on Isaac's door, boom, straighten up.
Roasting that 33 in the back there, and you know, despite the advantage from Matt Walters, I think you're right there about it being mechanical. We did see him limp back round to the pits. Unfortunately, Matt Walters' night ended, but I'm excited to see him drive next year. He's come a very long way. Speaking about coming a long way, Glenn Ormerod, the golden child of the famous Insurance Pro-Am, getting an easy one here as Mike Scotto makes his return, and first battle out there, big old spin. Sorry to see it, man.
Good to see Scotto returning after having a few rounds MIA. But look at Glenn, just consistency is the key.
You can see GoPros flashing away all over the car, and who wouldn't want to ride on board with him as we do now. That little carburetted 13B under the bonnet of that Corolla absolutely sings, and you know, I just love the pedal work of Glenn Ormerod. You hear him just keeping it up on that port, really driving it exactly the way it needs to be, and he just looks so comfortable and dialed in that thing.
Let's spin them around. Scotto has to do something magical here to get the win against Glenn. They've come into the first corner.
Mike's going to need to pack on a little bit more speed than that if he wants to lose our championship leader. Glenn giving him a bit of a gap there, knowing that with the automatic zero spin from Mike Scotto in the first run, that all he has to do is complete a nice clean chase run, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see him creep up as the run goes on.
Look at Scotto, but first round back against the man Glenn Ormerod and doing everything right in the last corner, getting up on Scotto's door, showing I'm here to party.
Yeah, really nice second run there from Mike Scotto, and you know what? If he would have managed to keep that one together while chasing Glenn, this could have been a slightly tighter battle, especially with how nicely he filled up that outside barrier there and the speed that he packed on up the front straight. But you can see Glenn easily reeling him back in with that confidence to chuck it in fast into that top sweeper despite the barriers.
Here we go, your next battle, Warwick Hill to lead. Aaron Buhaja in the chase.
Aaron getting very confident and comfortable in that car. Nice big angle there. Not quite as close to the wall as we wanted to see, with Warwick having the better line through the top there. Looks like a gap's opening up though as Warwick gets on the power. Out there and gone, rocketing up that front straight.
Yeah, take nothing away from Aaron here. Warwick's a seasoned veteran this season, and that confidence has been growing every round, and it's really good to see her out here putting on a show against all these dudes.
Really nicely done there. And you know what? Keeping a gap up, you know, through the end of the run there, Aaron caught up, and also quite nicely through the top section. So the battlecraft is growing, and that's what Pro-Am's all about, is going up against some of these drivers who do have a bit of experience, and especially Warwick Hill, you know, bridging the gap between Pro and Pro-Am. He's a great driver to battle with because he will teach you a couple of things.
Let's spin him around. Aaron in the lead, Warwick in the trace. Nice from Aaron. Not all against that wall, but you know, in a nice consistent run for that first corner. They come through the S's.
Hey, Aaron Buhaja might not be getting the outside clips there, you know, not risking the rear end of the car on those barriers, but she is nice and tight on the inside clips there, coming in, diving into those inside witches hats and really showing the line that needs to be done there. So a little bit of improvement going through the wider lines, and I think Aaron's going to put together some serious runs next year.
Should be definitely stepping up next season. As you can see, nice and consistent run. Warwick giving it probably a little bit of a gap because he knows he's got a little bit of an advantage, but there you go. Warwick gets the win and goes through to the next round of battles.
Judges calling that one there, and we will see now Warwick Hill go up against Glenn Ormerod, our first and second in the championship, which means only one of them is going to get a chance to battle it out for the top spot of this round, while Timothy Schultz would be going up against Isaac Gett, but I hear there's some mechanical difficulty there, so will Tim Schultz end up in a final without having to do a run?
Could he do the Stephen Bradbury of drifting, Tim Schultz?
Before we find that out though, we're going to get back into the Hi-Tec Drift All-Stars. Riding on board with Brad Toohey, our points leader, going up against Mitchell Cole for the first of the top 8 battles.
Good to see Mitchell Cole back. Oh no! Unfortunately making a mistake there in the first corner. Congrats to Mitchell and his family on his being a baby girl, so he missed a couple of rounds. Understandable. But Brad Toohey is a man on a mission. He wants that championship, and he is showing why it could be his at the end of the evening.
And that twin supercharged LS, as much as it had some teething issues all early on, has been such a reliable rig and is putting down serious power. I mean, in the new 86 chassis as well, it's just such a good combo and really, really fast.
As you can see, here's the mistake from Mitchell. Unfortunately, a little bit of a straighten up.
Lucky to pull that understeer back and keep it off the wall though. That was nicely recovered there from Mitch Cole. Definite advantage there to Brad Toohey, you know, with the straighten ups throughout the run. So it's going to be a hard one to overcome, but I'm sure Mitch Cole will put in his absolute best.
Spin around, Toohey is on Mitch's door, not giving him an inch.
Really tight there, dropping back a little bit through the middle. Mitch seemed to have the jump there, but you know, that is a difficult section to get traction, especially when you are roasting the rears for the majority of the lap.
Sparks flying as they come up the jump towards the final corner.
How tight's that?
Nice, looking good from Toohey there.
Little spin across the line for Mitchell Cole, but that is after the judge section, so not something that he will get marked down for. But man, really nice tight chasing from Brad Toohey there. This is the only section where the gap opens up, then he dives straight back in again, roasting through the bottom straight, and possibly even intentionally leaving that gap there so he can come in fast and on the door for the top corner. Obvious win there for Brad Toohey, so he'll be fighting it out in the finals. And this is another battle that will be decided to see if our top championship leader of Brad Toohey will be going up against number 2, Rob Arbolino. And man, Scott, is Rob hungry for it.
Have a go at that cook. That new Dewars Performance engine is doing exactly what it set out to do. That tune from Chucky, just listen to that thing screaming. Benny Meir is there, but pushing as hard as he can, not wanting to let Rob pull a gap on him. They come around the final corner, nice and deep there from Rob. Benny Meir looking good. It's going to be a tight one to judge.
Ben's car in the pits as well. We heard him driving around a little bit earlier before practice. Couple of, pops and backfires out the exhaust there. And judging by the way he's driving, he might just be struggling a little bit with motor there, because Ben is a very consistent and very fast driver. And it just looks like in those sections where he's used to having the power and stepping on it and washing wide into that outside section, he's just struggling to get that width of the line and follow Rob where he's going with the power, but he's still managing to keep that gap nice and tight. And there was an advantage to Rob there from the judges, but it's ever so slight, and I think it's all going to come down to this role reversal.
Couple of bubbles there from Benny Mee, not as wide as I want to see. Rob doing good to stay on his door. They come through the Esters. Remember, this is for the championship battle here. Come the final corner. Looking good from both the boys. Oh, Rob touches the wall.
Big wall
pushing hard.
And it ended up putting him into an understeer that seemed like a struggle to get that softly sprung 350Z back into a drift. Really difficult one, and we'll see it as he comes around the bottom here. Switch back, ducking into Benny Mee, and then just on the power, going that little bit wide, trying to better his line, tapping the barrier, then big understeer there, trying to get it to step back out again. It looks a lot more serious than it is from the replay, but with the advantage that Rob had the first time round, I think that's a pretty clear-cut victory there for Rob Arbolino. But I bet he was biting his fingernails until that decision came down, because as you said, he needed to get through there to even have a shot at the championship up against Brad Toohey. Now riding on board with the engine builder now, Aaron Duar, who put together the motor that is in that Hi-Tec 350Z. Duar's performance, building some of the angriest V8s out there, chased by Warwick Hill. I love these sorts of battles, Scott. Carburetted V8 up against Hi-Tec turbocharged Japanese straight six, both of them roasting.
Oh, look at Duar start to pull away from Wazza there. That speed of that S14. Oh no.
What's happened here?
Oh, look at the cook from Aaron Duar.
He is an absolute gun, and I'd love to get that car on a weighbridge. It would have to be one of the lightest cars in the series behind Glenn Ormerod's. Naturally aspirated V8, not a whole lot in the back end of that thing, and it just changes direction so quickly. But a car that's kind of that snappy and that fast, it's nothing without a driver who knows every inch of it, and Aaron Duar is just on fire tonight.
Was getting pushed back into the pits? Unfortunately, maybe that little wall tap broke something in his rear end.
Oh, that is so rough there.
That's not how you want to end the night. There you have it. Bo Yates, Brad Toohey will come up against each other. Championship fighting contention here. On the other side of the tree, we'll have Rob Arbolino go against Aaron Duar.
I'll be interested to see that Bo and Brad battle as well, because it's very rare that you see Bo in a position where he's under pressure, but he does have quite a points gap to recover. It's going to be down to the wire on the other side of the break. Don't go anywhere. Now it's down to the pointy end. We are deciding our podium battles right now before we split the top four into an A final and a B final, which means the people fighting for the top step and the person fighting for third position. We're going to see the famous Insurance Pro-Am line up, and the very first battle of that is also going to decide the championship standings. Glenn Ormerod, our points leader, up against Warwick Hill, who only has the ever so slight gap behind him, 1 point in fact. And so whoever wins this battle will, as a result, automatically win the championship, but will also be going for a round win as well. So really, really important battle here. We're going to see Glenn Ormerod lead first.
Biting my fingernails for this one, Dave. Glenn throws it in. Let's just let these boys drive around and see what they can do.
Beautiful mix of noises here. The naturally aspirated 13B up against the turbo Toyota JZ under the bonnet of the Beamer. Let's hear him roast up onto the straight. Coming in hard to the top sweeper there. Glenn right out on the wall there. Warwick taking a slightly shallower line. but as a result, getting nice and tight on the rear quarter of Glenn Ormerod there. Really hard one for the judges to call.
I don't know how you're going to split them in this run. They're both doing killer runs, as you can see, come through the S's nice and clean from both the boys. As you can tell, there it is, no advantage.
We couldn't split them, and neither could the judges. Makes us feel a little bit better about that one, and it means that we'll get to see them run again now with the position switched. I don't know, could this be the first one more time we see of the night? We're going to have to wait to see if they can both be as equally matched.
Looking good from both the boys here. Glenn on his door, nice, coming through the S's.
The bonnet cam really puts into perspective how much these guys are putting their cars on the line chasing. You know that the guy in front can drive and is, predictable, but you really do need to think, can I put my car in a position where I can't recover it if there is a spin?
Yeah. I think we could be going for one more run here, Dave, as they come through. Same as the first one, nice and consistent from both the boys, pretty much even as they come around that first corner. Going through the S's, nice and clean. This is where Warwick starts to pull a tiny lap on Glenn, nothing much. Judges won't mark him down too much for that.
That wall rub was so nice as well, hey?
Warwick right on the wall there, putting that performance automotive 3 fingers knee BMW where it needs to be.
And that's the confirmation from the judges. We are going to see a one more run. So for those of you not familiar with it, the driver who qualifies in a high position, who in this case was Glenn Ormerod, gets to decide whether they lead or chase for one final battle between the two drivers. So 3 runs in total to decide a battle, which makes it pretty hard for the judges. And I completely admire Glenn Ormerod's position here, choosing to chase because it allows him to put the pressure on. And it means that Warwick, if he is under pressure, might drive a little bit harder and get pushed into a mistake. But I haven't seen one yet, Scott.
Both clean and consistent runs. Oh, Wazza taps the wall nice as he comes around the last corner. We'll take a look at the replay here, try and dissect this one. Warwick nice and wide on the wall there, exactly where the judges want to see. Both boys pushing hard. They come through the S's. I think this is the defining point there. Gleno drops one small wheel on the inside there.
And that's a really hard one because Glenn Ormerod with a really neat chase there following Warwick Hill, but unfortunately the wheel drop through the inside of the track there is an automatic points deduction from the judges. So just like that, Warwick Hill is the 2017 champion of the famous Insurance Pro-Am Battles and will also go through to battle out with Tim Schultz. Let's go catch up with him in the pits.
Here I am with the man, Warwick Hill, 2017 famous Insurance Pro-Am champion, mate. Well done. How do you feel?
Look, Scott, I'm absolutely blown away. It's been a monster season. I've done a lot of laps on a lot of tracks, and look, to finish it off like this, it's just mind-blowing. All credit to Glenn. Glenn, the way he steers that little Corolla is just ridiculous. So, there was nothing to split us at the end there, but I think I just sort of picked him at the post, so couldn't be happier, mate.
Look at the game face on Brad Toohey as he rolls around. He will be chasing Beau the Show Yates. There's a championship gap there in the points, and Beau really under pressure. He's going to have to do something special here and knock Brad Toohey out to even have a hope at the top spot. And man, is he putting the effort into it. Nice and wide there on the outside wall, but Brad Toohey right behind him, switching back really nicely, emulating only slightly behind Beau Yates. But look at the gap opened up there from Beau. Bit of a wall tap from Brad. Car roasting, filled with smoke. Much more angle there from Brad Toohey, coming in hot but diving a little bit wide on the line there. Difficult one for the judges to call. Brad Toohey, as much as he was close, just looking a step behind there in the transitions. Beau on the wall, Toohey finding it a little bit deeper. And there's the advantage for Beau Yates. Tight one to call, but well deserved.
Be interesting to see what they do when we spin them around. Let's have Brad Toohey lead, Beau Yates in the chase, your former champion.
Slight advantage for Beau here, but he was chasing nice and tight.
That Tujay just singing. Oh, look at Toohey's smoke cloud. Absolutely chalking. Oh no, Beau gets lost in the smoke.
Oh.
Drives off the track.
I think that might have been 2 wheels there, and if that's the case, that's an automatic 0.
Oh no. The smoke coming out of this 86 is phenomenal. And Beau Yates seasoned veteran. It's not easy to drive through that smoke, I'll tell you right now. They come through the S's, you can see the cloud pluming.
We'll have to watch closely on the replay here. There's a bit of dirt on the track.
Oh, might be one, might be two.
The advantage and the win to Brad Toohey there. He'll be facing off against either Rob Arbolino or Aaron Duar to take out the top step, but that means that Bo Yates will have to fight even to get third place on the podium up against whichever driver gets knocked out in this battle, and I know both of them are hungry for it.
Rob in the lead, Duar in the chase. Oh, a small bubble from Duar to start off. Not how he wanted to get things going. Rob doing what he does best, using that aggression, killing those Achilles tyres off the rims.
Still just going right out wide onto that barrier. No one has matched Rob's line tonight with how deep he is willing to go into those barriers. And I'm sure Aaron Duar behind him is getting very excited. Yeah, it makes a great noise.
Oh, as you can see in the replay here, this small bubble I was talking about right there, giving a bit of advantage to Rob off the bat. And he continues that throughout the run, just killing those Achilles tyres. Duar engine versus Duar engine. At the end of the day, Duar's going to win.
So tight. Duar behind him, just getting up in that rear bumper, but from a line perspective and also with that bobble earlier on, pretty easy call for the judges. As they spin around though, Duar would be getting hyped in the chase position. Rob now having the bobble on the entry, winding some angle on and really leaving himself a bit of a gap here so he can try and chase back down Duar, but that could be dangerous as we head to the last part of the run. Bettering his line there, getting out to the barriers on the track edge.
Oh, Duar, big angle and Cook at the last corner, a little bit off the wall there.
That thing absolutely roasts.
There's the Duar fan club on the hill, loving it. Let's take a look at this replay. Rob nice and tight on the doors. They come in that first corner. Duar doing everything good through the S's, both boys consistent. Coming down to the final wall. Nice push from Duar. Rob goes a little bit deeper. Plenty of cook from both the boys, and Rob Arbolino goes through the final to face up against Brad Toohey.
You know what? Without that bobble from Duar, I think we may have even seen another one more time tonight, but that's how it goes. Brad Toohey facing up against Rob Arbolino in the final. I'm here with Rotendo from UFC Gym, a new sponsor for the Hi-Tec Drifting Australia Series, and welcome here tonight.
Well, thank you. I mean, it's been a pleasure to actually come out here. It's the first time we've been out here, and I can definitely see the appeal with it, obviously. Trying to hold myself to behaving after this, but as a UFC Gym, we've come here because we've been extending ourselves to, obviously, the businesses within the immediate community, and basically what it is with us is our whole goal is to train differently, putting everything under one roof, all right? So you're looking at people sometimes having to train different types of martial arts and also weight training in different gyms. We've brought it all together, but also opened it up to the public. Now, how we've affiliated ourselves with motorsport is like, okay, cool. We like to train different. We want people to experience fun. And then you guys are obviously putting on a show for people to experience things that, they usually have restrictions around. And then we're like, look, let's partner up and then let's extend each other, that sort of like gratitude with business. And yeah, help everyone have fun at the same time.
I mean, martial arts, UFC, training more broadly, it's all about performing at your peak, and that's exactly what we're seeing here at the Drifting Australia Series as well. Final round, you're going to see some crazy driving. I mean, have you ever experienced drifting before?
Myself, I haven't experienced it intentionally, maybe unintentionally every now and again, but this is the first time I've actually come out to see an event, so I'm keen to see how it pans out.
There's definitely some excitement to see what the results of these battles will be. See Aaron Duar fighting art against Bo Yates. We see Rob Arbolino down in the pits, roasting and ready for the win up against the cool, calm and collected Brad Toohey. He's been in this position before. He knows what he's got to do to take out a championship, and he's in a good position to do so. Before we see that, we will have the final decided for the Famous Insurance Pro-Am. Tim Schultz out in the lead. Boom!
Straight into the wall, Schultzy.
Good on him staying on the power there just to make sure he was out of the way of Warwick Hill, flicking it into a spin. That gorgeous metallic brown S13. Unfortunately finding a barrier there while Warwick Hill's battle car, it's got a few scars, it's ready to keep going, and Warwick was keen to follow him to that outside line, not backing off an inch.
Remember, this is Schultz's first battle of the evening. He's Bradburied all the way to the final, so he won't have that warmness inside of him And that confidence against that wall.
That's where being first place qualifier can actually be a bit more of a curse than a gift, because if you do have a field with a few buys, some breakages and mechanical issues, you can find yourself in a position like this going out with a cold car on cold tyres with not as much experience as the other guys who are out there tonight. And it's a really difficult one to claw your way back from. You know, Schultze, very professional driver and managing to get a handle on that 500 horsepower plus S13. But Warwick, he's been driving pro, he's been driving Pro-Am, he's had a lot of seat time not only tonight but this season on the figure 8. And really that extra seat time and experience shows for the advantage with Warwick Hill.
Let's take a look at this replay. As you can see, Warwick doing everything right in that lead run. Schultze unfortunately making a few little bubbles and mistakes behind him in the chase, but he'll be happy with that second position tonight.
And that wheel drop earlier on is what really hurt him there, as well as the spin. So that's how our Pro-Am series lines up. We got Warwick Hill taking out the win, Glenn Ormerod in second place. And you know what? Schultze still gets a well-deserved spot on the podium in third position. Isaac Gett just missing out after going on the trailer early.
Well done to all those boys in the first Famous Insurance Pro-Am series run. Hats off to them. A few of them I've heard it might be stepping up to pro, and a few staying in Pro-Am, so be good to see which ones step up and take the plunge and which ones go for that championship next season.
And that's it, the Famous Insurance Pro-Am series, it is all about developing this talent and giving people who might not be able to battle it out with the big dogs like you're seeing on screen now with Bo Yates against Aaron Duar, giving those people the ability to develop those talents, battle against each other and still get some podiums and some confidence under their belt.
Let's get back straight into this battle.
Oh, how is that wall run from Bo Yates there?
Just listen to these engines. Oh, Yates, he taps the wall.
D-beat as well, but he does not lift for a second. Ready to put that 8.6 and the beautiful rotiform wheels on it on the line. He's calling 5-minute rule, putting his hand up to the window there. Going to quickly get the wheels turned around and changed while Duar chills out on the line and thinks about what he's going to do, leading Bo the Show Yates.
As you can see here, jumping on board with Bo, comes in a little bit deep, knew he was going in, boom, keeps the power on, defeats the tyre.
I think the fact that he remained pinned there and that his line didn't change all that much is really what helped secure him that advantage there, but still going to be tight, and it's anyone's game here as Duar leads.
Let's spin him around. Oh, Duar, nice and deep. This is his first time in the top 4, let alone fighting for that third place on the podium, and he's putting it all on the line. Bo is not giving him an inch here. Let's see what they can do coming up to the straight.
Bo is known for those bare minimum driver gap switchbacks, and we saw one right at the bottom there.
Look at the speed from Duar.
Wow.
Oh, holds it on. Demolishes the rear end of his car. Let's have a look at that replay.
We're talking about wall taps, and while Bo Yates had a small one, that was right up to the rear wheels for Aaron Duar, and you know what?
Keeps
the judges love to see that commitment there. You know, there's not a whole lot in the back of that car. It is fiberglass and tube, but look at that. He steers in, stays pinned, and powers through, hitting a cement barrier. What a guy.
Let's see, it doesn't do much when he hits that wall, keeps the power on and puts on a show for the crowd. Well done to Aaron Duar, one of my young upcomers and pretty much driver of the year from where he's come from, where he started off. So congrats to him and his team. Let's get into this final for the championship. This is all or nothing. Rob Abellino in the lead, Tui in the chase.
Our 2 points leaders here for the championship, also aiming to take out the round. It puts the 2017 trophy right in the middle of this figure 8 circuit, and both of them are going to be playing tug of war of it tonight.
Have a go at both these boys, putting both the cars on the line. Come around to the final corner.
The biggest smoke show of the night as the twin supercharged LS V8 under the bonnet of Brad Tui's car goes up against the twin turbo, freshly built Duar's Performance V8. Man, these two things make a lot of power, easily in excess of 1,500 horsepower on the track at the moment, if not closer to 2,000. Both of these things smoking, getting right out to that outer barrier there. Rob Arbellino still the master of the barriers on this circuit here, but Tui chasing so closely behind Rob.
Listen to this engine roar. Pretty hard to split both those boys in that run.
dabbing on that handbrake there. Just seems all too comfortable in the chase position behind Rob. Does that mean Brad Tui's got a little bit of extra speed up his sleeve to pull out in the lead? I'm sure Rob's not going to let that go easily. We see that now. Both cars almost door to door here. Big plumes of smoke out there. Rob trying not to get lost in the smoke screen that is Brad Tui's car, which can instantly wheel speed at a second's notice. And leaving Rob behind now as he rockets onto the straight. Man, that 8.6 is fast.
Brad Tui destroying that track. The most key point of the racetrack down the bottom there was we watch this replay will show you as you come through the S's, this is where it all counts and this is where you win your battles. Rob a little bit slow, get back in the power until he starts to pull away from the gap, and Rob just can't really win as they come to the last corner. But hats off to both these boys all season. Have put on a killer show and it's crazy to see their driving progress. Can't wait to see what happens next year.
And there's the judges' announcement. We have our 2017 champion. Let's hear from him now with Scott.
This year, mate, Brad Tui, you've done it. You're up there on that top step. You fought hard for it. Congratulations.
Cheers, bro. Yeah, man, it was definitely a hard way to do it tonight, like hitting the wall in qualifying and bending my car. But, you know, last year, Bo won the championship, and congrats to him for winning it, but I desperately wanted it this year.
I might not have done it this year, but I can guarantee you one thing. 2018, I'm coming, yeah?
Well, there you go, mate.
It wasn't the way we planned out for it, but, you know, we all had a bad year, but me, Brad and Bo had mechanical issues throughout the year, so that's no way to, you know, fight out a championship. It should always be done on the track.
Yeah, of course, mate. We haven't probably had the best year this year. We've had 2 mechanical faults, and I mean, heading in tonight, we qualified first, and I thought I was on par for it, but listen, to go through the top 4 without having a tandem and then coming up against someone like Brad in the top 4, I mean, these guys are on fire. You could see the way that the pair of them were driving tonight, and so you can't take anything away from those two.
3 of the Hi-Tec Drift All-Stars veterans topping the podium, and I think we would have known that we'd see these guys out in front at the beginning of the year, but to see those orders mixed up towards the end of 2017 and fought right down to the final battle, I don't think we could have seen any better finish to what was a tight year of battles.
That's why I can't see what 2018 has to bring. We're stepping away from the figure 8, only 1 round here next season. We're heading to Melbourne, we're heading to South Australia. It's going to be exciting. Every round next season is going to be 2 days events, Saturdays and Sundays, so we're getting the family involved. Can't wait to see what it brings.
So if you want to battle it out with the big dogs, if you want to give the Pro-Am Series a go, or even if you just want to get out there and have a skid, I'll be out there, Scott will be out there. A lot of these guys will all be driving next year and battling it out for the season. What a way to finish 2017, and it's only going to get bigger in 2018. We'll see you next year.
Coming up after the break, we head over to the Croft Circuit in the UK for the latest instalment of the Dunlop MSA British Touring Car Championship.